Let's talk about the ether effect. Glory be to the big G. All right? Now, you know, some say she came on live too long. You know, uh, 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 she came to live too quick. Her video needs time to circulate because they pocket watching. It's every bit of 5 minutes. It don't take 5 minutes. Now, if y'all want me to do a reading, you could CA me at PEKA69. Now, I know that you don't have it on your device, but like I stated earlier, when she texted you and said to CA her, you did it without a problem, and I know why. Talk to me now, Lord. I have a lot of different type of cards. Istanbul is only one of the ones that you feel is out of sorts. If you were to see my analytics, you would not say that because I am known all across different continents for, and not just there. The ether effect is something mystical. Now, I realized something. This is not just something that just happened to me since me being on this platform for seven years, just about. Me being in this field, this craft for about 7 years. This is something that I noticed. I'm with somebody else want them. You know, I got a bona fide relationship, a whole marriage going. Somebody else want them. Not just that, he married to me. Somebody else want him, and now they want to stroll for him. See, now this is what I'm talking about. It's the ether effect. It has a dual meaning because when I want something, when I talk about something, somebody conveniently wants something too. Now, I'm not the only one that experiences this. This happens to a lot of angels of all different types of kinds, of all different economic statuses, nationalities. It's always when I, then everything I had. Let me tell y'all something. This is involving the false flame. This coincides with the reading, y'all. Y'all got to understand. I'm strategic. When I believed that my false flame was my twin flame, this is before I knew that flame stuff was not for me. When I believed that, it was a door opener. The whole twin flame debacle was a door opener for me. Listen, when I believed that my false flame was my twin flame, this was because I had encountered him when I was in my teens, 19, 20, 21, something like that. And let me tell you something. When you got someone that is interested in you, that picks you out of a crowd and makes an effort to be in your life, you feel like that person is supposed to be there. And he was. Now I know that he's a higher level soulmate because there's nothing bad in between us. What it was in between us was a hex. That's what it was. Now my spiritual spouse will say it's supposed to be that way because he gonna do everything under the sun and above the sun to make sure he don't ever be in nowhere in my vicinity. And not just him. It is because when you meet these false flames that don't leave a nasty taste in your mouth, you have history with them, past lives, and in every life they do the same thing. It's always that one that you feel like, see, I've passed that, the one that got away. Because for me, my false flame was the one that got away. I just could not, he was there, he pursued me, and then it just went dry. Not me. But it is because every time we would be together, conveniently, he would have access to a whole bunch of other individuals. Just conveniently. Hold on, y'all. Y'all already know. I mean, anytime it's like, when I'm trying to do a live, somebody want to come. This time, somebody's standing right next to me, right next. They walked right by my window and just started talking. And so it's like you got all of this space here, and you see that I'm on the phone, but you're just gonna come right here and have a full-fledged conversation. This is because somebody wants chaos and conflict. And when you don't bite by saying GTF, there's no altercation. But I want to see how long she sits here, because this is the let me tell y'all something. This is just the beginning of it. When this happens, because of the reading, y'all, when this happens, everything gets intense. Everything, you start hearing the water in the walls, things start dripping, things implode, because somebody has not gotten to the place where they need to be in order to receive their judgment. This is why this happens. So they continuously do it over and over and over again, because they feel like they're going to steer things in their favor. Now, this particular one used to come to the channel and say, someone's chanting on your channel. He don't do that no more. He didn't watch the reading that talked about what was taking place with his circle, because someone told him he didn't need to. Now, he is one of the ones that is programmed. He watched this particular upload because he feels like it don't have nothing to do with him. But now that he understands that Turkey is Turkish, all right, and that koala over there is a representation of Australia, and I did not talk about that, but those that are going to the festival know it. And this is why I said this ties in, because they feel like they're going to use my work as a means to get someone. It's always me. Y'all understand? Like, it's always me. I'm always a factor in their manifestation. I don't know none of these individuals. They don't donate. They just want to use me, and they want to use other people. Now, it's so many that want to know about this false flame, because I've been knowing him for over 30 years. Now, there was a reader that talked about it, that when you have a twin flame, okay, that person is in your city. She was halfway correct. However, what I gather is she didn't believe in the concept of false flame. If you've been waiting for somebody for 10 plus years to get it right, and you consider that person a twin flame, they are false. That is a higher level soulmate or a lower level soulmate. Depends on how degraded you feel at the end. Now, where I was at was when we would come together, because you cannot deny when a man approaches you. Now, when you approach a man, it's different things. They might be a little bit intimidated. You know what I'm saying? They might feel like, they're not adequate, you know. But when a man pursues you and says that one, and he has the means to be able to do that, it is so many that want to be with him right now. He has the pick of the litter. Okay? But every time we would get together, it will always be something or someone that would come in between. Now, there was a period where, for at least a few months, within a year, he would only contact me around full moons. Now, this is something that he probably had not paid attention to, and it is because he, in a sense, knew that the clicking of the heels and the bearing of his drawers was going to take place somewhere, and possibly in multiple homes that he goes to. Because it's not just about coming in between a twin flame union. When you got someone that has did a hex on you or participated in the hex in a past life, even they don't realize until they ascend that they did something, and that is because they're informed, if not by the big G, by an angel, of their mistake. Okay? So a lot of them knew that they did something and they attempted to do it again. Now some of y'all got babies, grown children with these individuals that put a hex on you or participated in one in the past, male or female. For some of y'all seem to think wizards are the ones doing it to females. Women. There are witches too. I done said this. Males could be witches, females could be witches. Wizards are something else. Now, if y'all feel like y'all gonna get little bits and pieces of my story and put it in alignment with yours, you are wrong, because I done proved even to my members, okay, that we are all on different frequencies. Now, it could be a synchronicity playing out simultaneously, but that don't mean the outcome is going to be the same and the variables are the same. It's important for y'all to understand that even if you are with your twin flame, the whole concept was created by a hedge, and that is because they want to intersect into a spiritual union, something that the God decided, not no man. When I said things are holy when they become written on paper, it is a holy contract. Everything that we do now involves a contract that is binding. So if you, for instance, y'all, when you see these COURT cases, right? Or if you're in one, the ones that are real drastic, when they say you got 6 life sentences. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna have 6 life sentences? Now it's making sense. That means when you come back, you still gonna have a sentence on you. How is that? Well, if it's not possible, then why do they do it? It's got to be possible. This is just one example of a life thereafter. So y'all got to understand, when y'all getting what y'all want, there's a consequence to that, because you're blocking someone else's blessing. And that's what's happening. Because the reason why they go so hard when it's celebrities is because they want to be seen as upper echelon. They want to have the designer. They want to act as if it is genuine, and it is not. It is not. Now, I don't care who get mad about the situation, because I can already tell you who doing what. So we want to just simmer down, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I'm still going to say it. There was somebody doing a remote view on you, and you got out of the shower, went to the kitchen, and went to that chrome refrigerator that you had at that time in a white robe, and when it dropped, everything said Isini. Somebody was remote viewing on you, and at the time, your now husband was off on a tour. So y'all don't want to go there with me because I said that y'all ain't got no it ain't no beef with me, but you're not gonna stop me from working. I said it that twin flame unions were created by hedges because they wanted to they wanted to intervene into a divine union. Divine unions are sacred unions. Twin flame unions are not sacred. How can anything that started with a hex be sacred? It's sacrament, sacrilegious. This is why the men that do not understand the concept of twin flame don't even they don't the ones y'all want is gonna say, nah, I don't know about that. I know about soulmate. Now they may not be in agreement in the beginning, but when the hex kick in, they're gonna start going live and saying, "This is my twin flame. This is my twin flame. My flame, twin flame." And anytime that happens, yeah, tear up out of here. Anytime that happens, that means something else done came in there. You done went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even get a time to shed a tear, and now all of a sudden another contract. I haven't got into the walk-in spirits or entities. Wait, that's in the next episode. Right now we still getting to, because I don't want y'all to believe that because all of the noise is gone that you can start like the other ones did. Because one of them was crying, oh, either I can't take this noise, I can't take this noise, can you please? And then as soon as it stopped, okay, y'all, I'm Ether. I'm Sadakisias. I'm Sadakisias. Y'all can't figure out if you need me, if you don't like me, or if you want to be with me. Male or female. Now, I'm not finna stop doing my readings because my readings are meant for the public. Now, if you feel some kind of way, it's because you ain't never paid for one. Now get mad. I done had to say several times that this is for a collective of people. You feel guilt, and that's the reason why you are so against others watching my content. Why would you feel if your union wasn't sacrilegious, right? Then you would be like, that's a good thing because that's messed up. Should nobody put no spell on nobody to be with them. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because see, now y'all know y'all not like me because I'm not bippity boppity booing. I feel like this. If somebody don't want to be with me, they can cut up out of here. And as far as my twin flame went, we had an excellent relationship until the one that he was with decided I was the problem because I was his twin flame. That's how that that's how that went. Because I'm not possessive. I'm not saying you're mine. But it's mine. In that voice. I'm not, he's mine. You may have had him once, but got him all time. There's not, y'all be doing too much, and it's because of status. Y'all don't even know none of the, you still dealing with rich, wanna be rich, those that's acting like they rich. You ain't even touched the whole spectrum of the wealthy, and that's where I'm going to, and y'all know it. Y'all know it. I'm going up the scale, and I'm dealing with the head honchos. Now we're going into when I start talking about Turkey and Istanbul, Germany, and all of that stuff. Y'all know I'm going above what you think is top tier. Because they ain't got no money like that. When you start talking about Istanbul, Germany, you know what I'm saying? Turkey, it's different. These is the ones that vacation for the holidays. You know what I'm saying? You still driving around. I gotta get this from Whoop Whoop House, this from this one, Whoop 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 Whoop. They flying personal jets and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, spending a $250,000 on one outfit to go skiing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't y'all. So let me go there to that level, because y'all so upset that I'm telling the truth about your union, that you about to out yourself. Now he's speculating, is you a ghoul? Because every time you sleep next to him and the angels is talking and he ain't saying nothing, he can hear his thoughts repeated. That's how you know you sleeping next to a ghoul. Oh, I want to be ghoul, future ghoul. The wannabes always get something wrong. And this is a part of the reading. They hearing stuff, but they not hearing something correctly. There it is there. Y'all, look, anyone that cares about their finances is gonna say ether is not a problem. Okay, because at the end of the day, I'm a spell breaker. That's what they don't like. Ether breaks spells and hexes and all kind of stuff. So you can go over there and try to. But he told you the last time he wanted 10 racks, and he meant every bit of 10 racks, because he know you got it. Not you can afford it, he know you got it. And so do 17,000 individuals, because you feel like when you go to a plane, which is not a plane, it's a realm in your mind that you gave them access to, that you won't be heard. You're not in ether's plane, you're not in the ethereal's plane, you are in a realm in your mind that you said all the ghouls could listen. Now, when you do that, fans that is only, he's going to say you are promoting false advertisements, because he wants the upchucking on the eggplant. That's what he wants, because that's what you advertised in your mind for $5. Now y'all gonna sit here and y'all gonna say, who's she talking about? None of your beeswax. That's none of your business. Let me tell you something about what y'all say about white folk. They don't mind paying. let me tell you something. They don't mind paying because they know it's the truth. And now you just mosey on along. Just mosey on along and go sit under the tree. Because as soon as he come in, she gonna say, I'm the surprise under the tree. This is how they tell on themselves, because they can't do nothing without me, y'all. Everything they think, eat, and breathe is surrounding. One said, ether does not like gourmet food if she does not eat lobster and squimp. All right. I don't like gourmet food. I said I like Italian food. To me, that is tantalizing. That is mwah, chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Now get mad. I'm telling you what I like, and you sitting up there talking about you want some crab. Anything that I gotta bite, like bite a shell. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, and then you gotta just take. Let me tell you something. When you dip that piece of crab leg in that butter, that is 10,000 calories. That one piece. So you ought not do that. I don't like seafood. I like Italian food. Take me to an Italian restaurant. Do y'all know how expensive the good ones are? You'll be leaving out of there with a $200 bill, a whopping $200 bill. And you'll be like, I'm going again. I don't want to be sitting there. How I got the crack what I want to, you know what I'm saying? And then you got a little face looking at you. So you're going to turn the face around? You're going to turn the face around so you don't see the face? I thought y'all didn't like pigs. Y'all don't like to eat, y'all don't like to eat pig, but you don't mind a good old crab and a lobster. Y'all full of it. Y'all full of it. Y'all phony. Now we start talking about what ether like, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all might be with the upper echelons. Because it's a whole bunch of wealthy that like Italian food and they know it. Now, what's crumping? Because somebody said, what's crumpets? You don't know how to spell it. It's not spelled with a C. That's what I'm saying. See, like you gotta get you can't get on my level because you're not even in my frequency. You gotta stay down there at the bottom. And when you finish pulling him down there with you, he gonna say, Ether told me this was gonna happen. Now, the ether effect, I gotta, that's just one. Because it's all different types of women, all different nationalities. I've already talked about this, that experience the same thing. And it is because you don't care. You don't care. Now, the thing about it, as you get older, not as you age, as you get older, you start realizing that you can't keep someone that don't want to be kept. But them, they beg to differ. They're saying hook, line, and sinker. They're going to keep him. They don't care what they got to do, including the graveyard stomp. They're going to do the graveyard stomp. They're going beyond the mash. They're going to stomp their way right in it. Because when you start saying anything about a Shakti, that's what's going to happen. Some of y'all don't even realize that you're dealing with Shaktis. Because you feel like Shaktis are black. You don't know that there's Asian Shaktis, Hindu Shaktis, Turkish Shaktis. There's all types of Shaktis. The thing about destiny swaps, what I talked about in my latest upload that was done this morning. I talked about crumpets, that is one thing. But I talked about destiny swaps, okay? And what happened in 1982. Some of you are saying, I was only 2, I was only 5 years old or 4 years old. That's the point. That's the point. If you can't remember, I'll go to 6 or 7. Because some of y'all are older than me. If you cannot remember anything before that age, it is because of a destiny swap. Now, there's variables to it because if something was being fixed in order for you to still be here, okay, then that could explain why you don't recollect anything before that age. Now, the phase that I entered in to this type of ascension, not the one I'm in right now, but when I first encountered all of that noise, okay, was a phase where I was told what kind I was, what I was created as, and so were they. But mine was personal. When I got introduced to my spiritual spouse by the big G, G-O-D, he's the one that said who my spiritual spouse was. My spiritual spouse had already knew. See, mine was separate. My ascension, the type of ascension that most go through that have not participated in no hex, that have not did no binding spells on nobody in no life. Theirs is personal. But when you got a group of people that's acting like they're friends and I'm going to have this person back when it's my turn, I'm going to just start yelling and screaming extremely loud and ticking off all the neighbors, because if I yell at this time, that's doing something different. Y'all still in the same blueprint as the last one that went down that pathway. None of y'all steer off of that blueprint because you don't know what else to do. You have been programmed, or they have been programmed to do things a certain way. It's never nothing ethical. They don't ever do anything ethical. I'm not saying that all that are wealthy had a destiny swap done on them or they participated in one. I'm saying that they have that wealth for a reason, and it's not to continue on a toxic cycle. If you know that somebody that you affiliated with is under pressure, it's for a reason. You're supposed to bear witness to that pressure because of what they do behind the scenes. Now, somebody can act as if they are this way and they are that way. Like, you know how many lives have been molded by people that have took someone else's position? You know that there are generations that went into poverty because someone's position got took. There are there are breeds and kinds that have been completely eradicated because someone took someone else's position. You know, there's a saying that said to find the core, basically, you have to go to the one that has all the money. Because the one that has all the money is the puppeteer. They're the puppet master. They're going to manipulate everyone that they can to get what they want. You ever just wonder what is the description of someone's job title? Like how do you like things like, I mean, no offense, like the people that have come in and design your home, like tell you what type of furniture to get. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know. No offense to anyone that does that, because some are really good and some are wealthy enough where they don't have the time. But what I'm saying is you can't make a living off of that, like a consistent living. That has to be like a hobby, you know, that you make a business, and you only got to deal in certain circles for that to be effective. You can't be down in the hood saying I'm gonna come in here and tell you how tell you how to rearrange your furniture, you know, because you ain't buying nothing new. You know what I'm saying? And in that reading, right, it talked about someone purchasing a dupe. Now, this is going into an establishment. This is not out of somebody's trunk. So when we start talking about that, you know, we're talking about the wealthy, because the ones that, you know, the ones that are rich, they don't bit much care if it's a dupe as long as it look, you know, and even some that are not rich don't care as long as they look like the original. And I mean, dude, y'all got to think about it. We've popularized so much stuff. When you got someone somewhere in some small town in a small country that makes better quality, more something that's more elegant, beautiful work, handmade, and they get paid pennies, or nobody wants to buy their stuff because they don't have a name. That's an original piece. Like, and one of these reasons I talked about a casiera. Okay, someone was having something handmade. That's expensive. The quality, the fabric, all of that is expensive. These are people that have some sort of access to the wealthy. Y'all don't think it because they're not running around in designer. Anyone that says, I'm going to have a dress made, can afford to do so, even if it's with somebody else's money. Now, you know, unless they are a seamstress themselves, which many are, and that's the point. You know, it is those that have some type of fame that make others wealthy, and that is a mutual agreement amongst those two parties when that happens. When I told y'all that a lot of these celebrities are not buying this stuff, they're being gifted. Y'all don't get it. And then others see it that want to be on that status and decide that they're going to buy it because they can afford to buy it. And then you have things like fake BCs, them socials, You know what I'm saying? All of this ties in. Because some of y'all believe that people are wealthy or rich, and they're not. They're scammers. They are individuals that have profiles. And if you're listening to the readings, you'll understand that. You wasting your time trying to snag who you think is a divine masculine. What he has is access to people that got cards. Y'all ever see somebody, you know, and they in a, you know, in a new car, one of them Lexuses or something, and you trying to figure out why, how, because they got access to people that'll do stuff for them. Y'all be thinking that they're wealthy. I remember one time I was talking to somebody, right, and we seen eye to eye. Okay, he's a Hispanic and black, very attractive man. Y'all would love to stroll for him. Y'all would absolutely love it. We got the same birthday, and we was talking, and he said, I said, I don't know why Whoop Whoop act like this, because, you know, he got money, and you know, he driving this, he driving that. He said, that ain't, you know, that's not his. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first time I ever heard any dude just blatantly say. And at first, I was like, nah, I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it. But he was adamant. He's like, that stuff, that's not his. That's either the female he with, his mama car. You know what I'm saying? Because when you at a certain level, you just don't jeopardize yourself in the way that he did. And you know, sometimes, you know, a lot of women and females believe to get an accurate answer about a male or a man, you got to go to a male or a man. And I didn't set out to do it, but that's what he gave me. He gave me his interpretation, his belief about the person that I was talking about. He said, that ain't his. I said, any dude that got anything is not going to be spending 24 hours under a female unless they using the female to get something. Business owners are not sitting there under females 24 hours. You just got to be available when he called. And some of y'all want that position. You want the available position. I don't want that. If it's major, hit me on my pager. Type. You know, that's the, you know, I'm from the Bay. You know, only if it's major. If you a figure, you know, if you're a figure, then, you know, we in there. Like swimwear, you know? I don't care if you bit much don't feel like I'm not worthy because I ain't wearing a 27-inch wig. I did that in my teens. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to wear them no more. My locks is waist length. You know what I'm saying? I'm what they call exotic. You know, they see me, they be like, oh, I want one of them. Type-ish. So now that we got that squared away, I want y'all to understand that the divine feminines that I read for are ones that care, but they don't. And what that means is you could have them, even if he is my twin flame, my ex-husband, my current husband. You could have them because it ain't that serious. That is it.